Orphaned as a child, Elmer L. Andersen had much success in his long life. He was a governor, senator, dairy farmer, and former head of both ECM Publishing and H.B. Fuller Company. But there is one title he wore most proudly of all: Minnesotan.
Elmer was definitely a Minnesotan. I don't think that he could have done as much or been as happy in what he did without being in Minnesota. There are values here that are less common in other places. And so I think he was very thankful to have found himself in Minnesota. And he had a talent for encouraging people and building coalitions and combinations of people to accomplish things. And that expressed itself in the political realm, but it expressed itself in all other realms as well.
Many of the concepts, many of the ideas, and many of the values that we are still pursuing in our company are the values that Elmer put together for the company, and that were values that I think to a very large extent guided his own life as well.
He did the things that Minnesota prize very well, and to such an extent for such a long time that he really set the bar.
He was always driven by a desire to ensure that what he had built and built up would continue beyond his time on this world.
One of the features of the household in those years and before was a thing called the Sunday night group of neighbors who got together in kind of the old pioneer traditional way. So they formed an informal partnership and went out and attracted support in various ways, and then it began to build on itself, and it led to the Minnesota Landscape Arboretum. There's no doubt he knew how to apply pressure, how to create situations where the best way out was to do the right things. I always found that in people and drew it out in people, because he was always asking them to reach higher. Last year at the funeral and the events surrounding that, people would come up to me or to my siblings or other family members and just want to express how thankful they were to Elmer for helping them at some key point in their career or their education or some point in their family life where they needed help. And they never forgot it, and Elmer would stay in contact. It was deeper than duty, it was compulsion, because he had values and he thought the community ought to have values. And when it strayed away from those, then people who could ought to do something about it. And he even joked in his later years that even as the body fades away, you'll still hear Elmer talking.
JA is proud to induct Governor Elmer Andersen as a 2005 laureate in the Junior Achievement of the Upper Midwest Business Hall of Fame.